Hey, what is up everyone? So we got our next big update for Sea of Thieves Season 15 with the March monthly update. This update comes with two pretty big things for the season as well as some other little changes and stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. To start off, we have a new type of weapon in the game that's kind of similar to the tridents that we had in the past, where it's something that you find in the world rather than equip from your armory, and this is the hunting spear. Players can now wield trusty hunting spears which can be aimed and thrown, dealing damage to roaming wildlife and other players alike. Spears can also be retrieved when embedded in solid surfaces and thrown again. So if you throw it down at the ground or throw it at someone's ship, you'll be able to retrieve it, but it seems like if you throw it at a player, it won't be able to be retrieved. Something cool that you can do with the hunting spears is that you can actually load them into your ship's cannon and then shoot it at another player's ship to provide extra firepower, and then when it's fired into a ship, the spear will lodge inside the hole, and when the enemy player removes the spear, it will make the hole size bigger. So that's a pretty cool feature, I think. If you don't want to try to search and find these hunting spears lying around, you can go to the Hunter's Call representatives either at the outpost or at the sea post, and you'll be able to buy them up to a limit of 5. If you just want to find them roaming around in the world, the best place to look for them is either washed up on shores, in shipwrecks, or from defeating skeleton ships. The next big update for the season is with the ambient wildlife. So this is something that we've known that is coming for a while now, and now we have 4 new creatures that cannot be interacted with, but are there to kind of just make the world feel a little bit more lively. So first we have, which probably is my favorite of all of these, is when you're sailing in the open seas, crews will now see seagulls flying alongside your ship as it sails. And then if you get into like a battle or a megalodon attacks or something like that, the birds will fly away to get away from the danger, which is pretty cool. The next one we have is lizards. So you'll find small lizards just basking in the daytime sun when exploring on islands. So you'll find these little creatures lying on like rocks and that kind of stuff. Next we have bats, which can be found in dark caves, and when you approach them, they'll try to flee away from their hiding spot. So that will be one that you probably will see less often unless you're going in lots of caves, but that will be definitely one to kind of search around for. Finally, the last one, and probably my second favorite of all these ambient wildlife, is jellyfish. When you're exploring the shallows near your island, you'll sometimes be able to see a group of jellyfish all just floating around in the water. So all those are pretty cool. I wish some of these were able to be interacted with, like the jellyfish being able to sting you or something, or maybe being able to like collect the lizards or the bats to like cook for food or something kind of similar to how the pigs and other stuff are in the game already. It would have been nice if they were a little bit more interactable, but I do see the value of having like just some stuff that's more ambient in the world. Next up, we have some commendation changes. So with the introduction of the hunting spear, there's new commendations in the Wild Seas tab, and you'll be able to unlock weapons from the Eternal Hunt set. There's also some changes to the fishing voyages, where the fishing maps provided on the captain's fishing voyages now provide crews with only a partial piece of the island near the fishing location, making it more of a challenge to locate the fishing spots. Also, crews on a fishing voyage would no longer find that they are attacked by emergent threats on the island with the fishing spots, which I think that's a big thing because it's very aggravating when you're trying to fish and then you just have, creatures spawning and trying to attack you every time, so you have to keep like resetting your fishing line and stuff. We also have a change to the ancient megalodons, so now the Feared Red Maw and the Barnacle Dread now take reduced damage from the Blue Pipe Poison Dart, which is something that I never even really considered using on them, but it's pretty cool that I guess some people found that that was an effective way to take them down, but sadly they decided to reduce the damage, so that's not as effective anymore. There's been a lot of changes behind the scenes, so like traps can now be placed inside the outpost taverns, which is pretty nice. The sloop, brigantine, and galleon have all been rebuilt behind the scenes, breaking up each ship part into smaller parts, allowing them to be loaded in sections by the server, and this is supposed to help with server performance, so I'm curious to see if we see significant improvements with that. There's some changes to the grapple gun animation, so like when you're using the grapple gun to fly up to somewhere, you'll see a different type of animation, which is pretty cool. So lots of little changes behind the scenes, but hopefully will have a good impact on the rest of the game. And of course, we have some new cosmetics that we can talk about. So we have in the Outpost shop, we have the Azure Scout set, which is one of the arena sets from the past. So they're expanding those with some new equipment, instruments, and weapons. In the Pirate Emporium, you can get your Over Here emote for free. There's also a new set called Lightbearer, so you can go check those out. In the Pirate Emporium, there's also a new tab for navigating to Browse All from the menu. So it's just a shortcut at the bottom, which might be nice if you're just trying to find everything and not wanting to go through all their individual categories. There's a new accessibility feature that allows you to turn off vomiting from other players and pets. So that's a little interesting. I guess if you really don't like the sound of it, you can turn that off so you don't hear it from your crewmates or other people. And other than that, there's just a ton of bug fixes that were added with this update, just like we see with pretty much every monthly update. And it looks like a pretty decent update for the month. We got a new hunting spear. I'm not sure how effective people will find it. I don't really see myself using it too often, but I think if it's something that I just find while going on my regular voyages and stuff, I'll probably collect it. And it might be nice to use during a ship combat because it kind of makes it a little bit harder for them to repair that spot because they have to take the spear out of the hole and then repair. So there might be some usefulness with PvP in terms of that sense. I think once we get the boar hunting that we saw in the season content update video, which should be coming out next month, I think the spears will become a lot more useful, but for right now, I'm waiting to see how useful they are. And also, I think the ambient wildlife is just going to be a nice addition to the world. Nothing that you can really do with it, just it'll be nice to kind of explore and you'll be able to see more stuff. But that covers everything you need to know about the March monthly update for Sea of Thieves. Let me know in the comments below what are you most excited about for the season, whether it's something that was in this update or something that's coming next month. And if you enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you like and subscribed. And until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye y'all.